causing ovulation, luteinizing hormone. If there is a pregnancy, the follicle will remain behind. The follicle will remain behind, be viable, because of the development of, you're going to have to come around to see this, because of the development of this. This is the chorion, okay? And this is where blood vessels are going to form in a portion of the amniotic sac that surrounds the fetus. As the blood vessels form, they combine with the blood vessels of mom by, I shouldn't say combine, they get very close to the blood vessels of mom. So that's how oxygen is transferred to the fetus and carbon dioxide to mom, glucose to the fetus, waste products to mom, okay? This combination is called the placenta, and it consists of the built-up endometrium and the chorion of the fetus. Now, the chorion releases human chorionic gonadotrophic hormone. Human chorionic gonadotrophic hormone, HCGT. Human chorionic gonadotrophic hormone maintains the follicle as the corpus luteum. If the follicle is maintained, then estrogen and progesterone is maintained. If estrogen and progesterone is maintained, the built-up endometrium is maintained. If there is no pregnancy, this degenerates into scar tissue. No longer epithelial cells, degenerates into scar tissue. It degenerates into something called the corpus albicans, okay? The white corpse, okay? And it's no longer secretory, no longer produces estrogen and progesterone. This whole thing is called the ovarian cycle. The building up and the sloughing off of the endometrium is the uterine cycle, and they're interconnected by the hormones. So here's what's happening. Okay, here's my endometrium, and this is the functionalis layer, stratum functionalis. Under the influence primarily of estrogen as the follicle is growing, the endometrium starts growing. Under the influence of estrogen and progesterone now being just as concentrated secretions as estrogen, the endometrium is maintained. The buildup is called the proliferative stage. The maintenance stage is called the secretory stage. And if there's a pregnancy, it'll stay like that. Secretory means has a lot of blood vessels. It's capable of secreting things from the blood vessels. But if there's no pregnancy, if there's a degeneration of the corpus luteum to the corpus albicans, there's no more estrogen and progesterone, and this starts sloughing off, deteriorating. That's menses. That's when the woman starts to bleed, have her period. Okay? Why? Because there's a lot of material and a lot of blood vessels and a lot of blood that's going to come out of those blood vessels. And eventually it'll go back to its regular layer. And the cycle, the uterine cycle, this whole cycle, starts on the first day of bleeding. So the first day you have your menses, that's when this starts. Okay? And it's usually about a 28-day cycle. It's usually about a 28-day cycle. So halfway through that cycle is when this is taking place. Okay? So if you're planning a pregnancy, halfway through your cycle is when you should really try for coitus to ensure that the sperm will get to the egg at the right time. Okay? So this is the uterine cycle, and this is the ovarian cycle. The ovarian cycle is the development, maturation of the egg, maturation of the follicle, ovulation, okay, and either the formation of a corpus luteum or a corpus albicans, okay? The uterine cycle is the building up of and the sloughing off of the endometrium, okay?